right, what are we doing today?
Doing laundry to get ready to go to Arizona.
You had to mention that.
I did.
I can't wait to hear what this is about.
Going,
I know what it's about.
going to visit my daughter.
Okay.
Gonna get out of this cold, snowy February, get into the 70-degree days out in Arizona.
Yeah, that's what we're going to do, or you're going to do.
Yes. And
I'm John,
I'm Mike.
and this is Lyrical Laxatives.
And we are doing a little something new and fun today.
Yes, so Mike has complained about the word of the day.
I hate the word of the day.
Because he doesn't like looking stupid, which I thought was the best thing because we both look stupid when we do it. But anyway, that aside, we've decided to change it up a little bit.
We're going to do a random question of the day.
Yes, which could be more entertaining because we have no idea what the question is going to be, and we both have to answer it.
Yes, we will. The same
Truthfully.
question. Yes, truthfully, and we will both answer the same question.
Right. All right. So I'm going to click this button, and it's going to give us a question. Here we go. You're in the circus. Would you rather be the person with their head inside the lion's mouth or get shot out of the cannon?
I'll go.
Go ahead.
Shot out of the cannon any day. I'll take my chances doing that than putting my head in a lion's mouth.
So the cannon's not trained. The lion is. Granted, you're risking your life with both of the choices. I would probably do the lion. I only say that because it's more fun when me and Mike are different.
And you probably already have done it.
Yeah, from Africa. We had lions all over the place. I'm not a carnival ride guy, so I would probably go with the lion's mouth.
And it's not the same type of cannon that you're shooting cannonballs out of. It's
modified for bodies.
Right, but I would.
You and I would get stuck in this cannon.
Oh yeah, it would backfire on me for sure. It'd be like the cartoons where the whole ass end of the gun shoots out and curls up.
That would be worthy of a circus entertainment.
But I would rather be flying through the air and be thinking, all right, somehow I've got to protect myself. I feel safer doing that than putting my head in a lion's mouth.
Now,
even though I know I would still break every bone in my body.
Okay, I would rather have my head in a lion's mouth, to be honest, because a lion, it will be trained to be in that position, that specific position. And granted, it could change at any second. Wild animals are wild animals. And I have an understanding that lions will not attack you, and feel free to comment and let me know if this is wrong, but lions will not attack you if you don't turn your back on them. If you turn your back on them, they are more likely to attack you at that point. When you're placing your head inside the lion's mouth and there are people around you that are controlling this, then I would be more willing to do that than get shot out of a cannon.
All right, well, I agree to disagree.
Well, you can disagree. Neither of us are going to do either of these, so
no.
But it's good to know.
Yeah.
So yeah,
move on.
Yeah, move on. That was quick and painless. So and Mike doesn't look like a jerk. Well, no. He does, but
so now we're going to get back to our normal method of bullshitting.
Right. So our previous episode, we did a beer review, and that's what we're recovering from. We're not recovering. We're still
imbibing in.
We're still hopped up on beer buzz. Because as you know, as described in one of the previous episodes, we gave away our secrets that we don't record these on separate days.
Yes. We have limited time to be together with family obligations.
Boy, do we love being together.
So we have to
staring in each other's eyes.
We have to optimize the time that we have to
looking
record.
Lovingly. All right, here we go.
I love your sweet nothings.
They are nothing. Spinning the wheel of fortune. Here we go. All right, this is Drunk Stories.
Isn't that every episode?
That's pretty much every episode. I do have a drunk story that I can tell.
Is it from my birthday?
Actually, you could tell that one from your birthday.
I don't remember a lot of it.
Well, no, you remember enough about me. So, and 2 birthdays ago, with the sweater on the floor.
Yeah.
That's a good one. What about the last one too?
Clothespins all over the place.
Clothespins everywhere. No, so I have a drunk story about when I first went to a party and got trashed.
He was 22.
No, I think I was 16, 17. I was 18. I don't know. I don't even remember. I was that drunk.
What is the drinking age in South Africa?
Drinking age, we've covered this, but drinking age is 18, which is, I believe, the right age for drinking.
I agree.
I think drinking and driving, which is both in 18 in South Africa, I don't necessarily agree that the drinking and driving age are the same, but as long as you're careful, as long as your parents know where you are, drinking and driving should be 18. I'm 100% behind that.
I don't have a problem with the driving age being 16 here in the U.S., but I do think drinking should be 18.
Yeah.
Smoking, they just changed that to 21 here in New York.
We mentioned that on previous.
Yeah,
But yeah, I mean, if you're going to be serving your country, then absolutely go and drink and enjoy and have a good time.
Absolutely. I mean, if the country decides that you are old enough to hand a weapon to go defend our country and fight in wars, then you should be able to have a drink.
Why can you use a weapon and not a beer?
Yep. No, 100%.
I mean, not together.
No. But
yeah, the drinking age was 18. I believe I was either a little under that or whatever. I forget. It's a long time ago. But there was this house party, and we went there, and we were
did they have to keep opening the gate for every new visitor?
Opening the gate?
To the house? The driveway?
They may have, yes, because all the houses are, they've got big brick walls and barbed wire and everything. So yeah, they may have.
That would be a little intimidating, but no.
Intimidating, not if you live there.
Exactly, that's what I was just going to say. If you grew up there, it wouldn't have mattered.
Right. No, I mean everyone's used to that kind of stuff. So, and yeah, so we go to this house party and we're all drinking, all having a good time, and I don't remember much of what happened during that party. I don't remember much of what happened during my life, but I do remember at one point I had drunk too much and everyone started moving inside. I don't remember moving inside, and in fact I clearly didn't move outside because I remember waking up on the grass, passed out. It was a slight slope on this grass, a very small yard.
Were you wearing your trench coat?
I may have been. It was cold. I just remember waking up and being shivering, being cold, with my potentially my trench coat on and Doc Martens.
Was it black Doc Martens in your navy blue trench coat?
Yes, it was. I think it was 10-hole Doc Martens too. It wasn't even a 12-hole. And I was cold because I was sleeping outside on the cold, wet grass because the dew had set in on the grass. I don't know what time it was, but somebody had come up, I think, and tapped me. I think there was somebody else on the grass as well, and suggested we come inside. So I vaguely remember going inside and seeing a bunch of people lying on the carpet and the floor and the bed, and couches. And I see my buddy lying there, and he's lying one way, so I get down on the floor and lie the other way like a 69, but not that close.
How the story changes each time you tell it.
I just add more details. And so we're sleeping there. I pass out. I mean, I've been sleeping on the grass, and I pass out quite quickly. While I'm definitely warmer inside. And the next day, I wake up feeling like shit. I believe that was my first hangover that I had experienced. I spent the whole day trying to recover without letting my parents know, which they knew. And it was an awful day. But then I remember talking to my buddy later that day or next couple of days about our night. And sure enough, he tells me about his dream that he had, where he was being chased by some giant rats. And so I didn't know what he was talking about. And then I realized, or at least he tells me, it's because of my Doc Martens that I'm wearing. When they were rubbing against each other, they're squeaking like a fucking mouse.
Yeah, he's a light sleeper too, if that kept him up.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure I kept him up with my boots. But yeah, so that was that story. My boots of mouse fear. I'm sure it would scare Mike quite easily.
Yeah, probably.
The other story was
just as funny the third time.
Just as funny the third time because we've had some issues recording. And this is real laughter, actually. I was worried about doing fake laughter for the third time, but this is funny because Mike knows the punchline.
And I wanted to yell the same punchline.
So the second story is about us, or at least me, having a beach party. We were at a beach party with some buddies, and we're all hanging around, getting drunk.
Wearing your trench coat on the beach?
Yes, I was in my trench coat and Doc Martens.
Were they 10 or 12 hole?
They were 10 hole. I think we covered that earlier. Maybe we didn't. I don't know if we got lost or not. But 10 hole Doc Martens that I bought from a Taiwanese guy, and I don't even know if they were real. And he kept on coming back to me for more money.
How much did you buy them for?
I don't remember. It was in rands, so I don't know if it matters.
10,000?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't like that. But every day he would ask me for more money for them because he said, "No, they were more money." So
Did
I had to
give
keep
him
on.
more?
I don't remember. I gave him a couple more bucks every now and then.
You dumbass!
I never gave him more. Anyway, that's a different story that I'll never get to because I don't remember it. But so we're having this beach party. We got a big bonfire going. We've got a guy who's trying to dig his way to China or wherever, Australia. Digging a hole, and it's getting pretty big, and I'm getting concerned about, and I have my reasons for being concerned. He's digging this hole.
John's just an old worrywart.
So he's digging this hole in the sand, and I'm panicking, and I'm saying, "Get out of the hole! You're gonna get stuck. You're gonna get stuck." So eventually he gets out, but while he's doing this, some other kids come along, and I'm trying to be cool in front of them, and I don't know them, but I'm trying to be cool in front of them. And I say, "Hey, look what I can do. Look what I can do."
How old were you again?
I don't know. This was probably around the same age. 16, 17, 18, 16. I don't know. So I say, "Look what I can do." And I jump and I land flat on my stomach in the sand, thinking it would be soft, like I could fly almost. And so I'm standing on the sand. I jump and I land flat, like a belly flop on the water, but on the sand. It did hurt. I'm not gonna lie. I remember it hurting.
For someone that grew up going to beaches your whole life, you're not awful smart when it comes to how hard sand is.
I was drunk. I'm not awful smart when I'm drunk. So I mean, it wasn't as bad as, I mean, it wasn't hard because it was really soft sand. So but it wasn't as soft as I was expecting. Anyway, I'm lying there thinking, man, that was probably pretty cool. And all I hear is the guy saying, "Oh, look, it's a beached whale." Sure enough, there goes my
your street cred was blown right there.
Not street cred. There goes my what's it called? When you think about yourself,
your ego?
No, not ego.
I don't know.
Yeah, no. There goes so begins
self-esteem.
Yeah, self-esteem. There goes my self-esteem. There starts 20 years of counseling and self-deprivation and. But anyway, I recovered from all of that to become a better man who doesn't jump in the sand anymore. But that was that story, and it was pretty funny. All I remember really is the guy saying, "Look at it, it's a beached whale." Yeah, didn't change me much, but I moved on. So yeah, that was my stories.
What are we, drunk stories, right?
Yeah, drunk stories. That's pretty much what
and beached whales.
My life and beached whales.
I've got a couple. I'll go with my bachelor party though first.
I remember that.
Yeah, you weren't there.
Yeah, thanks for inviting me, Dick.
You weren't a friend of mine.
Oh, there we go. The real truth comes out.
Yep,
I'm just a neighbor, right?
that's right. So Brady and I had our bachelor and bachelorette parties on the same day. She went on a wine tour down in the Finger Lakes with all the girls. Then they went to dinner. Then they were going out to the Easton Alexander. It's the bar district here in Rochester. And I met up with some buddies, and we had dinner. And then we went bar hopping. And then we were going to go meet up with Brady and all the girls. And my best man, Dan, he just, in the invitation that he sent out to everybody for my bachelor party, he said, show up with a roll of tinfoil. Didn't give any explanation as to why. He just said, show up with tinfoil. So everybody piles into Dinosaur Barbecue. We're all eating, we're drinking. He's got this massive box. And we're like, what the hell is he carrying in there? And he says, well, first things first, we got to give name tags. And he's got those, hello, my name is. And
Slim Shady.
yeah. And so back when.
Or beached whale.
Yeah. So back when he lived in Florida, when I went down and visited him, we went to a greyhound racetrack. Greyhounds have the greatest names, the racing greyhounds. So all those name tags were all the racing greyhound names and everything. Like I was Phil Screwdriver. There was other ones, Bob's Hat, Drillzilla, Dr. Typhoon. But so we were all wearing those, and lo and behold, the tinfoil we were to take out and make into Viking hats.
We call that aluminum foil in South Africa.
Well, I call it
Oh, sorry, aluminium foil.
aluminium.
Aluminium.
Yes. So, we shaped these horns, and then we made these hats that went on over it. And he opens up the box, and it's all these plastic swords and axes and all sorts of shit. It was the funniest damn thing. And so, being the groom, everyone, I got a tinfoil sash going across me. I've got like battle shin guards on. I got them coming up my forearms.
Your daily garb, right?
Pretty much. And it was a blast. Everywhere we went, we'd get out of the limo, and people are just like, what the fuck? And they're beeping, they're loving it. They're yelling, they're taking pictures. Every bar we go into, the bartenders and everyone in there's thinking, this is the greatest thing. Absolutely loving it. And people buying us drinks left and right just because we look like a bunch of schmucks. But it was
What you do.
yeah, but we're getting more and more toasty as the night goes on, and we go to this bar called Marge's on
By the beach.
yeah, down on Lake Ontario, and we got cigars and all this, and
I have to explain one day why I don't like Marge's.
okay, we'll make sure
It's a very short story, but
we'll make sure to go there soon. And so they got all the groomsmen and everybody got this idea that they're going to throw me in the lake. So,
and Mike can't swim, so it's going to be funny.
I can tread water. And so they're Mike, come on, because I was hammered.
He doesn't swim as well as a beached whale.
No, not even close. I swim as well as a huge boulder.
As a lead whale.
Yeah. But we start kneeling with the water to our back. And next thing I know, I'm fighting for my life because I got my brother-in-law and my best man trying to fight me to drop me in the water. And somebody's got my phone up on the beach. And
This is probably where Mike's fear of water. He's got, you try and spray him with a water gun and he cries like a little bitch.
I don't like being wet.
Yeah.
It's unpleasant. But we were just hammering them back, and then the limo drops us off back where we started the night. And
Did they get you in the water?
no, I fought them all off,
What a dick.
and I didn't even lose my cigar. But I guess this isn't really much of a drunk story.
No, this is kind of a it's all about me story.
I guess so. Yeah. At least no one called me a beach whale.
Yeah, no.
But
just a dry jerk.
no, my father-in-law though, he did say he was surprised at how much I could drink and still acted fairly normal.
Yeah, that changed fast.
Yeah, because I don't drink as much now. So what was this our topic for today?
Yeah, drunk stories.
Oh, I forgot.
Where are you going with all
I don't know.
this? You're telling me about your story, but you're not getting that drunk. So,
Well, I got it
because you can't handle your liquor. Because
I'm drunk. So I got another one too. So the drinking age in Canada is 19. And from where we are in Rochester to go to Canada is an hour and 10 minutes, an hour and 15 minutes, something like that.
I've heard there's good strip clubs up there.
There are. What the hell are the names of them?
Peppermints.
Sundowners.
Your favorite peppermints.
There's a couple of them.
Sundowners, yes.
They were on Lundy's Lane.
Yes.
Anywho, they're
That we've heard about.
no, they're fully nude. They have prime rib dinners. You want it, you got it.
They're the most interesting way of picking up $1.
Yes. But so me and a bunch of my friends would go up there before we were 21 here, and even though most of us had fake IDs, I don't know, it was still fun just to go up to Niagara Falls. And but it was one Sunday night, and it was me, my buddy Steve, and my buddy Gus, and we decided let's go up there. Gus, that's his nickname. That's what I always called him. But
Is he a truck driver?
no. So we go up and we go to this one club called Rumors, and we start drinking, and Steve was our designated driver.
Was that next to Sundowners?
No. Rumors was right on the main strip, right by Niagara Falls itself.
Okay, yep.
The strip joints are a little further down.
Yeah, Rumors is that big like dance club?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So we go in there, and my buddy Gus says, "Hey, let's have a drinking contest." And he says it to me, obviously, because I'm the only other one drinking. So I said, "All right, sure." So I'm drinking Long Island iced teas. He's drinking amaretto and orange juice. I mean, you couldn't get more different.
Right.
And so I'm putting him back. We're doing shots, and he thinks, "Oh, I'm a tough guy. I'm up there with you." And I'm like, "I'm plowing you down." Well, it all caught up to me pretty freaking quick. Go into the bathroom, start puking in the toilet, and I just hear a banging on the stall door. And, "You all right in there?" And I said, "Yeah."
Not the typical kind of banging you're used to in the stall door.
Yeah. And he says, "I need you to come on out." I'm like, "I'm almost done, And so I come out, and it's security / the Mounties, the police up there.
What you doing, eh?
Yeah, and they're like, "Come on, you got to go." I'm like, "Can I at least wash my hands?" And they're, "Yeah, go ahead." And, and so they're walking me out, and my Gus and Steve are like, "What's going on?" They're like, "He's got to go. He's too drunk. He's throwing up. He's got to go." Well, then when you walk out, the club is up on the second floor.
Yeah.
And you got to go down a pretty steep staircase. I'm a mess, beyond a mess. And I've got these police officers or security holding onto my arms.
Making passes at them.
Yeah, they're holding my arms as I'm going down. I'm like, "Guys, you got to slow down."
I like to Mountie you.
Yeah, I'm about to fall over. And we get to the bottom of the steps, and they're, "All right, you're done for tonight." I was like, "All right, great," So I went into Steve's car, laid down in the back seat. They left me there. They went into the casino and gambled for a little while.
The Mounties?
No, my friends.
Okay.
But I was passed out cold. I had already puked on the floor of the back seat.
What a friend.
And then we get to the border. The border didn't even wake me up. They didn't care. They just asked, "What's his story?" My buddy's just,
Well, they're probably used to it, though. Seriously.
Yeah, he was drunk. I mean, this is pre-9/11.
Oh, yeah,
so,
no, it's a little lighter.
Yeah, and they're, "Oh, okay." And I remember them waking me up, pulling into my parents' driveway, and I get out, and the way that their driveway is, their street is a hill. So I get out, and I'm on the side where the hill going down is, and I stumble all the way down the damn hill. And by this time, it's about 6 a.m., just about 5:30. And, I make my way into the house, and I had to be to work at 10 o'clock. I worked at Papa John's Pizza, and I was supposed to be the delivery driver that day. Well, I was still drunk. And I called my boss, and because he's who I was supposed to be working with, and he's like, "Are you serious?" I'm like, "Yeah." I'm like, I'm a mess. I'm like, I stopped drinking a long time ago and I'm still that drunk. And he just laughs and gave me the rest of the day off and everything. Called somebody else in. But yeah, it was just different time. You know, you go over the border, I'm passed out. They don't care. And whatever. Okay. He was drinking too much. Nothing. I don't have too elaborate.
That's the stories you got.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a good story, and it reminds me of some Canada stories that I've got. A number of sundowner stories, and a number of family trips that we took up to Canada. One particular story that we had, but it's not a drunk story.
Our buddy did get kicked out of Sundowners because he went back for a lap dance. Walsh, that's his last name. But he went back and he racked up a big debt. And when he says, well, I'll just use the ATM. Well, the ATM has a 30% charge on it.
The ATM,
or if the ATM, if you charge,
he was using the lady's butt crack for the
yes,
ATM.
Yeah, but it had a 30% surcharge if you used your card to pay the lady. And
ouch!
Yeah, so he did that, and he was out a shit ton of money. And you know those what's the name of those the video game units that were just sitting on the end of the bars?
I was never looking at the bars.
No, a lot of bars.
I wasn't there for the video games.
No, normal bars have them too.
Yes, no, the arcade game.
Things,
yeah,
and so Walsh got so pissed off, he just punched his fist right through it, shattered the glass, and we're like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And I'm fucking pissed off. Rah, rah, rah.
I remember the entrance to Sundowners. You go to the left is the lady at the door, where you pay your money, and then you go to the right to get in.
Yes.
And then it's really packed from there on.
Yes. And so...
I mean, I don't remember that. I figure that's how it is.
That's how they all are.
Yeah.
But, you know, he pulls his hand out of the glass. It's just...
bloody.
Yeah, he's a mess. There, you got to get out of here, and you owe us money for this thing, and blah, blah, blah. Well, they still had his card... So they just charged his card for the cost of the machine, and then gave him his card and threw him out.
Oh man, yeah, no. So I've got definitely got stories of Canada and that area, the Sundowners. I got a lot of stories of drunk stories for golfing. I've certainly had my fair share of drunk golfing stories. Just to carry on the Canada story, not a drunk story, just part of the Canada trip. We went over as a family, and we did the touristy stuff and with a couple of our kids, and we were coming back, and it's always especially now with after 9/11 and everything that's happened, it's a stressful time to go over the what's it called, the border, the immigration entryway. So it's nervous. You're in your car. You can't do anything. You go over a big bridge, and there's lights.
3 or 4 different bridges you can use.
There's cops everywhere, and this is one particular bridge, and we've just had a great day. And we're coming over. And we're about to be ready for the stressful time to get back into the U.S. Not that we have anything to hide. We don't.
He was trying to smuggle sausage over the border.
Some cigarettes, Pall Malls. I don't know.
Cuban cigars.
Some duty free. It's stressful, regardless of what you're doing. It's a little stressful. But we're driving over, and it's really busy. And as we're driving, there's this guy on the side of the road on his bicycle. He's heading the opposite direction to us. He's on his bicycle riding over the bridge, and as he gets to us, we're driving.
You hit the bicyclist?
No. I hit the gutter. Now the gutter had a metal grate on it, and the metal grate was broken or something. Something was wrong with the metal grate where it popped up. It stuck into our tire. And there's this massive, almighty pop sound. The bicycle guy, I looked over to my side as I heard the pop. I look over, the bicycle guy is about ready to jump over the bridge. He's holding his bike. He's off his bike. He's holding his bike, and he's about ready to jump over the bridge because this huge pop sound. And I'm panicking because I don't know what the hell this sound was. This pop. I look over at the gates, all the immigration gates where all the cops are and everything.
They all stop too.
There's cops suddenly walking towards us with their hands on their crotches, or their not crotches,
Their hip,
their hips, ready to draw their guns. Some of them have their guns drawn. They were walking towards me. I feel like, I mean, everything was happening so fast.
Oh, you had to be sweating bullets.
Oh shit! I was panicking. I start getting out of my car. That's when it came over the PA system. Get back in your car. Get back in your car. And that's when the guys were like holding the guns. I'm like, my hands are up. I'm like, I didn't do.
What was Mel doing?
She was like on the side. She's pretty calm about these situations. I don't know. She didn't know what it was either. None of us really know what the hell it was. The kids are in the back. Some of them was crying, I think. As usual, and nobody knows what's happened, except for the bicycle guy who's about ready to jump over the bridge. Eventually, one of those guys gets up to us and says, "Can you pull forward? Can you pull forward?" I'm like, "What happened?" He's like, "It looks like you popped a tire," and that's what happened. The gutter had popped up and stuck into our tire and popped our tire, and so we were running on a rim, and I was like, "Oh."
You got the worst luck with tires when you're traveling.
That's bad. So we drive through. We weren't allowed to stop and fix it. We had to drive through on the rim, get through the gate, give the tickets to the immigration people, still go through all of that stuff. They still gave us the full, what were you doing back there, blah, blah, blah. Then we get through, and then we pull over to the side of the road, just over the side of the thing. But that whole situation, I just remember the bike guy almost ready to jump over the side of the bridge.
Oh, that would have been great.
Oh, it was fun.
How old was he?
He was a young guy, maybe in his mid-20s or so. But he had a good story, I'm sure.
I almost got shot today crossing the border.
It sounded like that. That's exactly what it was. It was like a loud bang. Anyway,
I remember sitting at a
these aren't drunk stories, but
high school football game, and it was in the inner city here, and we're sitting on the bleachers, and all of a sudden, just you hear the loudest pop, 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 and everyone
rat-a-ta-ta, rat-a-ta-ta, I'm in the ghetto.
Yeah, everybody ducks down in the bleachers because no one knows what the hell was going on. It was just a vehicle backfired as it drove past us. But everyone was terrified that it was gunshots.
Yeah, so that was, there's other drunk stories I have. Just to continue, I know it's quite far past what we were talking about, but after the beached whale story, I remember getting home.
Did they put wet towels on you to keep you wet during the whole thing?
No. Nobody cared about me. They were like, there's a fat beached whale. We don't care about that thing. There's no use for it. We'll just let it explode eventually.
Explode.
So I remember getting home, and I didn't have front door keys. I forget if we walked home because it was maybe a half an hour walk home. And I remember getting home, and I walked home because I didn't want to call my parents. I don't remember.
You were too ashamed.
No, I was. Whales can't walk very far.
They just use their blubber to shimmy you down the road.
Like earthworms.
Yeah.
Like fat earthworms. So I get my fat earthworm body, whale body home, and I don't have a front door key, so I walk around the back of the house, and my mom's on the computer, and I remember knocking on the window, saying, "Do you let me in?" And she's like, she shits herself because she wasn't expecting me to be at the back door, so she lets me in, and she says, "Oh,
Johnny,
how was your party?" I was like, I'm now trying very hard not to be drunk. And I'm like, it was fun. I'll tell you about it in the morning. And I'm just trying to get to bed because I'm trashed. I'm ready for bed. I'm buzzing like a beached whale.
As they should.
I just want to lie in the sand and let the seagulls eat at me. So she almost shit herself because somebody's knocked on the back door, which I don't blame her. I mean, that would be pretty scary. Somebody knocking on the back sliding door.
I do remember having a good story or a good time. I went up to SUNY Oswego.
It's always a good time in SUNY Oswego.
Yeah,
Sounds great.
It's a state school up on the lake. It's cold and snowy, and it's a small town. You just drink. And I went up there to visit.
Sounds like my everyday.
Yeah, went up there to visit my buddy Dan. That's where he went. And so we went out on the town. It was wintertime, and we went to this place called, actually I don't know what it was called. It was something about a cow, and the outside of the building was painted like a cow, black and white spots and stuff. The place was a shithole, but
nothing like that winery we went to where the udders had the cow.
Oh yeah, that was cool. That was classy. But this bar was a dump. I mean, your feet stuck to the floor.
Stunk to the floor.
Yeah,
that's pretty bad.
But but it was, it was your typical college bar. So it was cheap drinks, cheap shots. It was good. And then we went over to this place, Greens, and they were having 2-for-1 Dos Equis that night. And for those of you that don't know, Dos Equis is a Mexican beer.
Yeah. I think it's Mexican.
Yeah, along those lines.
The most admirable man. Admired?
Yeah, whatever he is. Interesting,
yes. He is. I mean, if I could strive to be anyone, it would be him.
Yeah.
Kind of looks like my dad.
A little bit. So we go to this, it's this Irish place named Greens, and we're drinking 2-for-1 Mexican beers all night. I was a fucking train wreck. And so we start walking back to my buddy's Dan, his girlfriend's place at the time, and he played on the rugby team, and there was a couple rugby houses nearby to the bar. So he says, why don't we go walking over there and just see what's going on? So he said, all right. So it's cold. I got my hands in my pocket, slip on the sidewalk, fall flat on my back, feet up in the air. I didn't even take my hands out of my pocket. I just laid there laughing my ass off. I was so fucking drunk.
Embarrassed?
No, I was that drunk. It was just funny, and I couldn't get up. Dan and his girlfriend had to help me up. And then we walked like 2 more doors down to the rugby house, and there were 2 of them. They were across the street from one another. And all of a sudden, I see a naked guy come running out of one of them, runs across the street. And,
I'm surprised that wasn't you.
No, and runs into the other one. And I'm like, what the fuck is that? And my buddy Dan, he's like, oh, that's so-and-so. This happens quite a bit. And it's all right, So we finish our walk. We get back to the apartment and everything. And I remember going in and eating something. And I remember laying on the couch. And then next thing I know, I wake up laying on the bathroom floor with my arm around the toilet seat and my head on the floor.
Somebody holding your hair back?
Yeah, myself. I just remember, oh, God, that was a bad...
Those are on bad nights when you can't remember much of what happened.
Too much Mexican beer, man.
This is the kind of fun that you kids who may be listening who are not yet at the age of drinking yet.
Oh, live it up.
Hey, enjoy life, experience life. Just be careful. Just let your parents know where you're going to be.
Yes.
But enjoy life.
My parents gave me the policy, just call us. Doesn't matter. We'd rather have you call. We'll come pick you up. We know you're safe. And
unless you're a beached whale, because then you need a pickup truck.
Then you need the help of the Coast Guard. And
yeah.
But no, and that's what I would tell Ashley. Just call. I'll come get you. No questions asked.
So to add to that beached whale story, I know I said the part where I was at the beach and then when
talk about yourself a lot.
I do. No, this is a drunk story, so I have to. That's what the topic is. So there's the part where I was at the beach, the part where I was scaring my mom. But before that, as I got home.
So this is just one drunk story that you stretch out to make it sound like.
I know. I've told 2 drunk stories. So as I get home before I go around the back of the house to scare my mom, I'm in the
Make her drop her knickers.
No, she wasn't. She was wearing a jammies. I'm standing in the front yard, and I gotta take a leak. I really gotta take a leak. So, and this is a short part, but I take a leak in the bushes in the front, and of course I'm swaying around. I'm swaying as you would when you're drunk and you're trying to take a leak. And I'm looking up, and sure enough, I see a shooting star. That was the luckiest day of my life.
You sure it wasn't coming right at your head?
No, it was an absolute shooting star in the sky. It was a clear sky, dark, clear night, and I saw a shooting star. I think that was not necessarily my first shooting star. It might have been my first shooting star.
Must have been magical if you remember.
It was magical because I do remember it. I mean, I'd just been called a beach whale. Anything's going to be exciting and magical after that. I'm happy to see a shooting star, thinking I have a future. I don't have to be a beach whale. I can live. I can explore life.
I can be an astronaut.
Anyway, that was the beginning of my life there. Shooting star.
Nice.
I'm trying to think. There were other drunk stories where I mentioned some of them, or at least I mentioned the one place that I used to go to, which was that was the station where we would go and hang out. I remember trying to get a ride to the station and hanging out with our friends, and it was as if we had a ride to the station, and the station was a nightclub in the old train station in Durban, and it was the best nightclub. I loved the station. It was a fantastic place, but it was in the middle of the city, so we had to get there. In order to get there, we had to hitchhike. So to hitchhike, I would tell my parents I had a ride there. And then we would go to my friend's house. And from my friend's house or an acquaintance's house, we would go and get onto the main road and stick our thumbs out and try and hitch out a ride.
Thumb and a ride.
Thumb and a ride. So we get a bucky, which is a pickup truck, stops and picks us up. Everyone gets on. Me being the whale. Is a little slower to get on, and
do they have to use the winch?
No, they don't have to use a winch. I'm agile for a whale. I have skills as a whale. Are
you saying I'm not?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. So I step on the tire to get on into the back of the truck,
and it popped.
As I'm stepping on the tire, no, it doesn't pop, but they start driving off. So I feel my foot flying backwards. I managed to jump into the truck, and that was a panic.
Jesus.
Yeah, so that was a panic. But anyway, I'm in the truck. This is before we drunk or anything, so this was good. I had my trench coat on, I'm sure. We head out to the place, the train station. Now, at the train station, because I had been there a number of times, I had a number of nights when I was drunk, and we did get them. We got the bartender trained to bring us the Southern Comfort we needed when we placed 2 fingers up in the air. We would always get 2 shots of Southern Comfort, and that was it.
Weren't you a player?
Oh, total player. I remember being all excited the one time when I got my ass pinched while dancing.
What was his name?
I don't know who it was. Could have been him.
Hans.
Could have been another whale. I don't know. Another Free Willy.
It was Garth.
Could have been a Free Willy trying to hit on me. I don't know. Whatever it was something pinched my ass. I was all excited about that the one time. The other time we were drunk, myself, my friend, and Steven. My friend Steven and I, we were drunk, and now the station had these weird. It had a parking area, and these weird jutting out concrete. It's hard to explain, but they were high up. You were high up in the station, and you could jump over this wall and sit on these concrete things that stuck out. There were no banisters, no sidings, nothing. If you fell off the edge, you were gone. And I remember, for some reason, we could buy pies, chicken pies. And we would go over...
Chicken pies before your death. Pies.
Yes, no, we would jump over the edge of this wall and sit down and eat these pies. We'd eat chicken pies. We'd call them crumb pies because we couldn't talk. Crumb pies. pie crumbs, crumb pies. And that was just a good memory of some of the times we had at this station when we were drunk, risking our lives for these stories to be told on a podcast eventually. So, yeah, that was that. Now, I'm going to bring up the story of Mike's birthday party that I will let Mike tell because I don't remember much other than exactly what I did.
Oh, so you want to talk more about yourself?
I want you to talk about myself. Tell me about this whale.
So it was not this past December, the December before.
And this past December was pretty good. It wasn't the crazy wild.
No, but we went out to this German beer place, Unter Beer Garden.
Great place.
It was me, Brady, John, Mel, Duncan, John's brother, because his family was in town. Other neighbor Sean. And
shout out to Sean.
Yeah, what up?
Hey, Sean.
And who else was there? We had Ashley.
Did Kaylee go?
Nope, Kaylee did not go.
Sean.
Yeah, we had Ashley that my wife works with and her former boyfriend. And yeah, John was just fucking hammered. So was his brother.
We all were.
Yeah, we all were. But John and Duncan were a train wreck. John punched him in the face, screwing around.
No. So I pretended.
If you
to
can't
punch
remember,
him. I pretended to punch him, and it was the old school uppercut where you swing your hands in circles down with your elbows bent, acting like
John L. Sullivan.
Fisticuffs. I'm trying to demonstrate it, but it doesn't translate well on
your
radio.
Your little T-Rex arms.
My little T-Rex arms, too many muscles to keep him. So yeah, no, I bopped him in the nose. I didn't punch him. I bopped him in the nose, and he, as a drama student / whatever he is now, he reacted in a way more overly dramatic way. But we were all good. It was all fun in games. So Mike's gonna exaggerate. Just be warned, Mike's gonna exaggerate.
Ejaculate.
I'm not.
And so at some point during the night, now mind you, we're drinking out of 1 liter German
boots.
Boots
cups.
and steins.
Yes.
At one point, I'm holding 2, so I'm trying to curl 16 pounds, 8 pounds each hand.
Mike struggles to handle 1.
I know. And at some point, I don't know who did it, but beer spills all over the floor. So John...
I think I spilt the beer because that's why I would feel guilty to pick it up.
Probably, yeah, that's probably true. But, John, being the alcoholic that he is, and he can't waste beer, he decides the best idea is to dive on the floor.
I didn't want to waste it. I wanted to make sure I cleaned it up because I made the mess. Yeah. I was the responsible party.
Well, he was doing his best beach whale impression by getting down on the ground, belly down, to start absorbing the beer off the floor into his sweatshirt.
I did know that I had the sweatshirt that I had for about 10, 20 years. Since I've been here, I've had that sweatshirt. I knew that it was an old sweatshirt, so I thought, let me use that to clean it up. I had the wherewithal to use that sweatshirt to clean up the mess I had made. But I didn't want them at German House, Beer German House.
But we were the oldest people there, and you were acting the most immature.
I was acting the most cool.
You wish.
So
then we managed to get out of there, and Brady drove us all, and
before we even got back to the car.
Yeah, there's just shenanigans going on. We're
doing limbo.
Yeah, we're trying to limbo under the arm at the parking garage, and no one could really do it. And
Sean could.
Oh yeah, Sean can do anything. He's Superman. But we get in the van. We're driving home. John and Duncan are both full quiet in the car.
I was feeling green.
The whole ride home. We pull into Sean's driveway to let him out. Then we pull into John and Mel's driveway.
I couldn't get out of that car fast enough.
As soon as he's out, he's puking in the bushes. Duncan's in the bushes, puking all over the place.
No. So I vaguely remember the most of the trip home, and I was looking in the rearview mirror, and I could see myself and I was green, and I could feel it. And that was the longest trip home, just because I just wanted to get home. I just wanted to puke. I was feeling so bad. Just because the amount I had drunk, I had drunk way more. So Mike was playing with a half a boot, and I had probably like 5 full boots.
No, I was drinking full liters.
Whatever.
I was drinking full liters.
I would drink this kid under the table any
I'm not
day.
denying that, because
Yes.
you drink regularly.
Yes, I
drink on Saturday nights when we do this podcast.
So that's why I had a huge amount to drink. And we get home. I remember the door couldn't open fast enough on that caravan, that van. I couldn't open fast enough. I get out. I'm letting go of all that is unholy in my stomach into the bushes. I think Duncan is too. I can't remember.
He was.
And after that, I felt better, which I usually do, and I went to bed. The next day, Duncan...
and for the record, I never puked, and the next day...
Yeah, because he's drinking half a boot.
And the next day, I felt pretty all right.
Yeah, because he drank half a boot.
You wish.
Yeah, drank half a boot of O'Doul's. O'Doul's is an alcoholic-free beer.
Alcoholic-free?
Alcoholic-free. No alcoholics here. So Duncan, the next day, we go out. I wake up. I'm better. I'm like under the weather because I had a rough night, but I'm good to go. He spends the whole day at our house recovering on the couch. Probably did have alcohol poisoning because of the amount of he had. We had drunk.
Well, you were drinking.
Just to put this in perspective,
4 Locos.
Yes, we had 2 4 Locos before hitting Mike's party. We wanted to make sure that we were ready to deal with Mike.
And then you came to our house before we went out, and we were drinking more there.
Yep.
And then we went out, but they drink 4 Locos like they're 21-year-old kids.
Pretty much are. Pretty much.
But didn't Duncan puke like 6 times the next day or something?
He was toasted. He puked about 6 times, literally 6 times, and he didn't do anything that day.
I remember coming over the following day, and he's laying on the couch, but he's got his feet on the floor, but he's just at a goofy angle on the couch, and he's got paper towels next to his head, and he had seen better days.
Yeah. No. His drunk stories are wild, and you suffer. You deal with them. You know what you're getting yourself into. Some of the best times are when you have a drunk story, but it ends with a garbage plate.
Oh, garbage plates are fantastic. Yes. I could go for one right now.
I could too. We should.
Get it delivered.
So, as I was saying, these drunk stories, look, if you are young and listening to us and just about to adventure the exciting world of alcohol is good as long as you are, as long as somebody knows where you are, as long as somebody knows what you're doing, as long as you keep it to a limit. Don't go too crazy.
And stay under control.
And stay in control.
Yeah.
Don't go too crazy. Drinking is fun. You can control it as long as you have people who are watching after you.
Beer, water. Beer, water.
Yes. Make sure you add in that water in the middle. Look, your liver's going to struggle, but life is fun. Enjoy it. You got one life. Make it last. Make it fun.
Just don't let your cooter show unless you want it to.
All right, Mike's cooter's out all the time, so yeah, take advice from him. Don't want to see Mike's cooter.
I was watching a movie with Brady. Well, Brady was watching a movie, and I tuned in, and you just had some couple in a graveyard that were trying to bang drunk after a wedding, and it didn't work, and they passed out. And then the next morning, they're woken up by one of the guys that works at the cemetery saying, "Your cooter's out." And the girl's like opening her eyes.
Is that shameless?
Your cooter's out. And her dress was up and she had no underwear on. Your cooter's out.
Anyway, drinking is a lot of fun as long as you are careful. just be safe. Enjoy drinking. Enjoy life.
Just don't overdo it.
Yeah.
the
Or
key
if
to
you
everything.
overdo it, make sure someone knows where you are.
And is responsible.
Exactly. Anyway, that's an hour of drunk stories that we've covered, which is quite surprising.
And if any of you have listened to us past the 20-minute mark, thank you.
Yes, thank you. I'm sure everybody's got drunk stories to pass on. So if you'd love to tell us a drunk story or let us know what you've been through, which I'm sure is far more exciting than what we've been through. I mean, there's only so much a drunk whale can get through. Let us know at Lyrical Laxative, and that's for Twitter, or Lyrical Laxatives with an S at gmail.com. And each one of those is Lyrical Laxative with an double L in the middle. Let us know. Tweet us, Gmail us, send us a message on Podbean.
Hashtag us.
Send us a message through snail mail. I don't know, whatever's left.
Pony Express.
Yeah, just throw
signals.
Things at us.
All right. Well, I'm Mike.
I'm John.
And we'll see you when the laxatives kick in.
We'll see you then. See ya.